Hey guys, Matthew here once again, and a couple of days ago I was sponsored to play Hellclock, which luckily for me is the kind of game I would usually play when there's some PoE downtime. It seems to be a game that is pretty much a nice mix of a Diablo, a PoE, and a Hades sort of roguelike. So that's the type of thing I usually play when PoE gets a little bit stale. Given this sponsorship opportunity, we expedited our timeline of that sort of thing just a little bit forward, and I gave this thing a good red hot go and even played it for a good bit after the sponsor segment because it's pretty damn fun. You will immediately be able to notice the influences of some of those games I mentioned, like the first level or two as you're descending through this dungeon-like thing really gave me a Diablo 1 kind of vibe. It just felt very, it had a good atmosphere, it had good ambience, all that sort of thing. And then you can immediately see a PoE 1 sort of influence through what the skills and the stats and all that things are like. And I do just want to give you a quick vibe check before I go on any further.
For the love of the Holy Christ, deliver me from this place!
Brother of Lazarus, run! Save yourself!
Potion. Woo! Jesus. And then, of course, you do get more powerful as you go through further descents with new skills and power-ups and sort of a progression-like system. Hopefully throughout that, you did notice that the audio is pretty clean. It's got like good music, it's got good sound overall as far as the skills, and it also feels pretty damn snappy immediately when you start using your skills and the movement and all that. It sets a good sort of baseline for what's to come in the rest of the game, I'd say. So as you can see, there is quite a lot of a progression system. It is a roguelike. You are going to be going through descents, the levels are getting stronger, dying eventually, and then coming back to town, getting some power-ups, and it's got a pretty elaborate passive system. It's got a pretty elaborate relic and item style system where largely your builds are going to be coming from because they enhance what certain skills do. They have synergies with certain other skills, and it's basically what you're going to be doing to making builds and testing skills and testing combos and eventually getting stronger and stronger. And then you'll be shitting on the early game compared to what you were before, but the game gets much harder. And then, of course, there is an even deeper end game to go with. So I'm told. I haven't yet been there because it's pretty damn hard to get through the first zone even. This is Act 1 still. There's 3 acts, and it took me about 4 hours to get through Act 1, I think, and then finally start Act 2 with trying out new skills and all of that. But there's quite a lot that goes into it. Like it's a lot deeper than I would have expected one of these types of games to be. For the acts and the progression mode and story, they're trying to retell a Brazilian War of Canudos, apparently, some kind of historic event that happened for them that's kind of near and dear to the developers. And there's cutscenes, there's audio, dialogue, not just audio, dialogue and stuff that goes with that, and it's a little bit immersive. So you do get stronger, you do lose, you try out new skills, there's melee, there's range. You only have one base class, but I don't know if there's more coming in the future. Basically, the class doesn't really matter because you just have lots of skills that just change entirely what you're doing. There's some gearing. I'm not sure that's super important compared to the actual relic system that is where most of your skills, power, and synergies and all that come from. But as you can see, you can get some pretty cool little different builds and stuff coming along for melee, for range, for spell casting, and just get deeper and further and start blasting even harder. And yes, it does look like there's quite a bit of stuff happening on screen. You can turn the damage numbers on or off if you want. You can even do the sort of graphics, the visuals, a little bit lower for I'm not sure it's called opacity in this way. I'd say it's just, intensity of your graphics, so it's not quite as flashy, because to begin with it feels kind of nice that you got some flashiness, but then it does get a bit overwhelming, of course, when you can see this Cyclone like ability that is doing lots of lightning strikes and shit. I went ahead and tried some other thing after a few hours, and this is like a ricochet little grenade bomb thing that's going off all the time, and I really like the idea of that build. It got me fairly far. I think it even got me almost through the entirety of Act 1, but then it fizzled out a little bit, and I think I needed a bit more power to make it even better, because as you go, unlock more passives, you get stronger, you have more relic slots, so you can get your skills up even deeper and have more actual combos with it, and eventually, hopefully get through the game. So I'm still pretty early into it, as you can see. Still learning mechanics, still dying to shit. But then, sometimes you find the right skill and the right combo that you really like doing, and I think this was my favorite skill so far, the big bell, which, reminiscent of plenty of games, but we loved our bell in PoE 2. We love our bell in this game too. It's got a real punchy feel to it, so it feels super heavy, and they've got that one just spot the fuck on, because I played a few runs of Bell, and it's the one that took me through all of Act 1 and got me to Act 2. But I'm definitely still a noob in this game. I've only put in about 5 or 6 hours at this stage, and there were several times where I thought I beat Act 1. I'm like, yeah, you're done with Act 1, and then people were like, nope, still keeps going. So that kind of emphasizes that there is a deep amount of sort of progression to go with this campaign style system. I don't know what the end game is truly like. That's usually around the time that I don't particularly want to put too many more hours into this type of a game, similar to a Hades-like system where I got to the heat level, I think it was called, and I did a bunch of runs of that, but a bit of the discovery is more what I'm looking for in this type of a game, and it's usually worth the 20, 30, 40 hours to put in just to feel out all of the skills, abilities, see if you can make some cool builds, experience their campaign, and then kind of move on until the next big update. So this is kind of what one of the bosses is looking like, and then you can start trying out more new skills. So this is, once I got to Act 2, opened up a whole bunch of new skills, and then started testing some of those out. And that just means that we can try a whole bunch of new shit. It's not too hard to actually try stuff out. You just, drag some stuff on. You freaking see if you've got any relics that synergize with this sort of thing. But typically you do have to find the right relics that are going to enhance builds in the right ways, and then still have to come up with your own combos as to how things can get stronger. So it's not immediately obvious what you're supposed to be doing, and I had a couple of failed attempts on a couple of skills before something kind of came together, and then this is what Act 2 is going to look like. And pretty classic desert theme once we get to Act 2, but I only just started, so I'm not really sure much more about how Act 2 goes. But overall, I think it's a game where if you're looking for something like a PoE mixed with a roguelike that has some deeper elements to it, I'd say, than most others for build customization and all, you should probably check it out. And we do have the Steam link for you to follow. I'll leave that in the description, and also probably add it as a comment, and make up your own mind, or just check out the VOD for the past couple of days that I've been playing and see if it's something you want to look into yourself. But so far so good. I've been having fun with it, and from everyone that's bought it and tried it, I think they've had a pretty good time as well. And not much else left to say with that one. So that is Hellclock. I will probably play a bit more off stream. Not sure how much more I've been going to be streaming it, but probably still have a run or two at the end of the stream. I do typically like to do that sort of thing with my roguelikes, do a good PoE shift, and then jump over and do a couple of runs on a game like this one. But I think this is a pretty cool game to get sponsored by, so I was very happy to show this one off. Hope you guys feel the same way. So thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.